Welcome to Mystery Making. This is where we make mysteries. And if I were really smart, I would have the template ready to go, but I just woke up. Hold on 1 minute. So, does anybody have any ideas what kind of mystery they'd like to make? And I'd like to preface that by asking, has anybody spent all of yesterday playing Sekiro? Like I most certainly did not.
Sekiro?
Sorry, what?
I'll take that as a giant no.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a no.
I thought you said secular, and I was like, yeah, I'd regard myself definitely.
Yeah. Somewhat.
Ditto, yeah.
No, it's like it's a new game by From Software, the Dark Souls guys, and it's pretty cool.
Oh.
So yeah, I was interested if people wanted to like make a feudal Japan mystery, just so we can hop on that. But that's fine. We'll make something a bit more.
I've really been into art thefts and like fabrication and like the mystery behind whether or not like a legend of like an art piece was true, and if that determines the art piece's value or not.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like because the only reason we value certain things, I was watching real quick, I'll keep this brief, right?
Sure.
The legend of El Dorado, right? And the whole legend of El Dorado came from the fact that this one tribe in South America, in Colombia, had a ritual where they would paint a man in gold and then sacrifice him, sending him out on a raft. Yeah. So they'd bury some golden jewels on that raft, and they did this like a number of times per year. So eventually there's like a significant amount of treasure built up at the bottom of this lake. But this one priest who was there on a mission was observing this whole ritual, and he just called it Eldo, which means the golden man, right? So it's not the name of a city, it's the name of a ritual, right? So that kind of like misinterpretation can like foster like a lot of legends.
Okay. That sounds cool. So let's make it something a little bit different. So let's make it a treasure hunt. Where so the investigators are like on the trail of this treasure, but they're not the only ones. So in here, the villainous agenda would be someone else gets
somebody
to it
else
first.
finds. Yeah,
that could be cool. Okay, so what are we looking for, and what is our setting? Are we like in deepest, darkest Africa? Are we in South America, or are we like somewhere in a civilized place trying to... Not that those places aren't civilized. Let me just say that right out. A more urban center, should I say, where like some treasure there's been rumors that some treasure has appeared and everyone's looking for it, like the Da Vinci Code or something. Which one would you guys like?
All right, hang on. My Discord connection is really shitty. One sec.
That's okay. You sort yourself out. Brothgar,
right.
Which one do you like?
Yeah. Let's go with like a Central America kind of thing, like
cool.
Mexico or Central America sort of deal.
Okay, so set in a more rural area.
All right, there we go. Now at three bars, and I can actually hear you.
3 bars is pretty good. Okay, so yeah, we can like beat through some jungles, go to some villages, etc., that kind of thing. Jump down waterfalls.
Yeah.
I'm thinking starting somewhere civilized and then heading somewhere remote, like that.
Yeah, make we found this clue in the middle of this urban center, and it leads us to this random outside place.
Okay, cool. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so this is going to be pretty unconventional mystery because you know from the start who the villain is, so to speak. But they're less a villain and more an antagonist. So they're kind of the Belloc to your Indiana Jones. Okay, that's cool. So let's find out about this treasure. We're going to need to amend these slightly.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? What is this treasure? Is it like a ruin? Is it a particular item? Is it a location of legend? Is it a person or like a body that is significant? Like a mummy, for instance.
Maybe a buried art piece.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or like secret collection, like a small miniature pantheon of a few items, like the millennial items, right, from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a small collection of very important artifacts that all kind of.
Mm. Yeah, and maybe like one of these items has surfaced, and
that led the hunt for everything else.
Exactly. So like everyone, there's been stories of this like set of items which everyone assumed was a myth, and then one of them appeared, like on the market or in a museum somewhere, and everyone's like, "Oh, they do exist."
And there should be a clue to the next piece in the first piece.
Okay, so the questions I have here are for like things that a person did regarding a crime, and this is not really a crime, so these questions aren't gonna apply quite as well as I'd hoped. But that's okay.
Right.
That is totally fine. We can work with this. All right, so I'm just going to take some notes. I'm not going to worry too much about the structure at this point. So, art piece showed up somewhere, and led and started a chase for the rest of it. Tell me, okay, so let's nail down what exactly this art piece is. Like a sculpture? Is it a painting? Is it like a mural or something? Yeah, maybe what turned up was like a rubbing that an explorer had taken of this mural, which was rumored to exist. Which one do you like?
Maybe something found in plain sight.
Like,
oh, hey, this thing has been around forever. It's really a tourist trap, but now it has significance.
Interesting. Oh, so like there was something in a tourist area that like no one was looking at, that people were just like passing by every day, but like just on the other side of it was something like super secret.
Right, exactly.
It just nobody thought to look. Interesting. All right, so a secret was hidden in plain sight. Okay, so we'll just say it was like a mural, for instance, which has a map of sorts. Okay, and some explorer's notes have surfaced where he found this and started the journey, but then like had to turn back. Okay, cool. So, yeah, this one's gonna be tricky because there's a lot less. There's a lot less of like motives and whatever else.
It's going to be a lot harder to push this into the confines of the system.
Yeah. I'm basically we're gonna leave the system behind a little unless we come up with a crime. Okay, so let's make it. Let's bring a more human element into it because humans are fun and we like to play with them. So let's say that these treasures are not like completely lost. Instead, they are hidden
or stolen.
Yeah.
Stolen in order to be hidden.
It could be. All right. Hidden or stolen.
So original.
You broke off there.
Yeah. Also, my connection's kind of really terrible because I just realized that.
That's fine.
Yeah. I just realized the server is based in Australia,
Whoops.
and the ping's like really high.
That
No,
may
it's
have,
not your fault. Obviously, that makes sense.
may
Yeah.
have something to do
I was
with
going to say, could I just be in text? Could I just type in text chat? Yeah.
it. You're coming
of course.
through okay for the most part,
Yeah,
so do your best.
right. And yeah, because it's gonna be a bit harder to
Yeah,
jump. I
read
think,
back and
but-
forth, etc.
But if it does get to be problematic,
Yeah.
then we can always
Yeah, if you go super
Jump.
robot, we'll deal with it.
yeah.
Okay. So, the treasure's not lost, but hidden or stolen, which means someone has hidden them / stolen them. Is it a society that's trying to protect these things, or is it like a criminal syndicate that's trying to steal these things?
Protect them like the films.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. And so we've got at least 3 different parties here. We've got the investigators trying to find them for their own purposes. We've got the thieves who are trying to sell them. And then we've got the society that's like keeping them hidden for 10,000 years or whatever. All right. So are the rest of these things in plain sight? I imagine that if there is a society built around keeping them hidden, there'd be towns and stuff that sprung up around them. And so it's less of a case of...
How about-
Yep, go for it.
I said, how about if they're part of more famous wholes, like whole pieces, as in or like more famous artifacts or art pieces, and thus they're because people are paying attention to the larger piece, and so they don't notice the small hidden component within. Because the whole point is to protect them, right? So they protected something of value, but if you're going to value the larger whole, then you're going to pay attention to a part of it.
Okay, so like maybe there's a myth that these things must be kept separate, or they'll herald the end of days or something.
Mhm.
Just to give a bit of a mystical angle. We're probably not going to get full Lara Croft where she accidentally ends the world, but it's fine. Maybe we will. Who knows? All right, so let's get some characters in here. Because we need some people to talk to and motivations to take place. So I won't worry about a guide or anything like that that will inevitably betray you. That'll probably be one of the investigators. But okay.
The original like museum curator whose life work is curating this, but he never received any recognition for the discovery, for the glory.
All right, and maybe he's the one who put you onto this, or otherwise could be a useful contact.
Yeah. Or he could be in cahoots with thieves.
Yeah, exactly.
Or- yeah.
Yeah. He will be your "it belongs in a museum" scene. Okay, so we've got a museum curator. We've got the thieves, obviously.
hmm
The thieves. Why can't I spell? We've got the Protective Society, who have a couple of important individuals.
hmm
So we've got someone who's like overt. So they're like a stoic guardian. And then you've got someone who's covert, who's like is all about getting information and counter, not exactly counterterrorism, but like counter investigation, where they're trying to get ahead of people who are looking for these so they can keep them safe. All right. So we've got a couple of different thieves. We'll worry about them later. We've got the curator, who will be like, might even have come with you because he's like, this is my last chance to find them, and is leading a separate team or something, or is holding down home base because he's too old to go beating through the jungle. And so let's say for now that most of these pieces are in urban centers.
Okay.
What is the process of finding these? Is it literally like a treasure hunt where you've got a map and have to try to piece things together? Or is it like people know where this stuff is and you've got to try to get it out of them?
A little bit of both, right? Because people might have
Yeah.
pieces of the map, so we can do this like National Treasure style.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, I think that it's
People with the relevant knowledge, and so you must collect the people and the relevant knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so each thing will lead to another thing. So there's something in the original found piece that will lead you to the next piece, but you need somebody that can interpret what's going on inside the piece to usher you to that direction.
Yeah, so like individually, these pieces are like seem to be unrelated. Or it might be a sculpture or a mural or whatever, which is like nice on its own, but it serves two functions. The first is to point the way to the next piece, and the second is to provide a part of a larger map.
Yeah.
All right, it seems in plain sight. So point the way to the next piece, and they also act as part of a larger map. Okay. I need to have watched more of these movies. All right. Let's look at the villains, the thieves, for a minute, and we'll see like where they are at. How much do they know already? Do they have like a head start on you? Do they have one of the pieces themselves that you need to get before you can complete this? That seems interesting.
Yeah,
In
so
fact,
they...
Yeah. Go on.
Oh, no. Yeah, so maybe they know the location of the next piece. So they looked at it, they said, aha, and they're already got a step ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
they might not necessarily have it if you are quick with your wits and quicker with your travel.
Yeah.
But if you get there and, oh, hey, there's something missing from the spot.
Yeah. Like there could be part of the agenda is that at certain steps, like they will have gotten to this part before you. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
And it becomes harder to do. Okay, so what I would say, in order to make this more investigatable, as it were, is to have like probably around 4 pieces to this puzzle, right? Like 4 parts to the map, and each of these pieces is being
3
held
keys and then 1 final. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you have a 3-leg story, and then like the final. What's the big clue at the end, and that unlocks the treasure, if you will.
Yeah, well, there'll be like that's a confrontation where everyone meets at the end and is pointing guns at each other with this big golden door behind them, obviously. So there's 3 pieces to the puzzle, which lead to the final confrontation. All right. So what would be cool here is if each piece was being held by a different party. So I would say one of them's got to be held by the thieves. So you've got to like deal with them directly, and you can't just like go straight up to fight them because they're probably more dangerous than you. But you can get it off them. You can find out. Or you might be able to trade for it. You might be able to steal it. You'll figure it out. So the other two pieces are being held by someone. So the first piece was already like in a tourist trap kind of place, and it's just Market Square where there were a bunch of crap on the walls, and someone realized there was a significance to some of it. So that was the first part that put everyone onto the chase. The next part, let's say it's being held by like a very humble figure or a humble establishment, like a restaurant or something, which is built on top of or is like something else that's been transformed into this. Possibly like a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So a temple complex that gets turned into a theater that gets turned into a casino or a hotel. There you go.
I like that. So yeah, it's built on the ruins of like this old
So like ancient Rome to Renaissance era to modern era. Kind of like,
yeah,
building on
So,
top of
like-
each other over time.
in the basement it turns into catacombs. And therein lies the clue. All right. So that's one of them. One of them is probably being held by someone important, someone that the society can trust. Who is that? It's a ringtone.
Within the hotel itself.
Oh,
Is that what we're asking?
oh, I was more saying that. So we've got to have three separate pieces to this puzzle. So one of them's being held by the
Yeah.
thieves; they've already got it. One of them's in this theater,
Yep.
which is a temple that
Yeah.
turned into a theater and has stuff underneath it. And one of them
Yep.
is elsewhere. And I was saying it's being held by like a trusted figure.
I was thinking, like the society can't have it because it's too obvious, but like some like long distant line, like
Relative.
they're like a relative family, right? So like how like families like in these kind of like dynastic
Mhm,
marriages, right?
Yeah.
So like either the husband or the wife's family from like generations ago, that other spouse's family side has like a distant
And-
descendant that they trust
and
with
they-
protecting it.
they only see it as an art piece. It's like, oh, hey, this is this ancient piece of art that
Right.
has been
Right,
a
they've
family heirloom
forgotten-
for generations.
They've forgotten its significance.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. So, and the last one
Do you
is
play like Assassin's Creed because Desmond has Ezio's like necklace, I believe, and then Altair's like first hand blade, and it's been like passed on for so long that people like he ended up using it as like a bottle opener. I remember in the first game, yeah.
yeah, like these
Yeah.
old relics which served some very specific purpose that got lost to time. So probably they do have a sculpture or a piece of jewelry or something that's been passed down through their family for hundreds of years. It could even be like a necklace or a pendant, and it opens. No, if it's like thousands of years old, it probably doesn't have a mechanism that opens.
Something like the pipe in National Treasure, right? It's a pipe, so who's gonna like look at a pipe? They're like, oh,
Mhm.
it's just an ornate ivory pipe made from like whalebone, right? Like who cares about that, right? Or like a dagger that's just kind of like old, or fudge. What
Yeah.
else? Like a button
I
or
like
a
it.
brooch, right? Like who cares?
Yeah.
About a brooch?
I like it being something they carry on them. So like it's a piece of jewelry, like a necklace or a brooch or like even a headdress, although that might be a
There
bit
you
hard to walk around town with.
I think like a necklace or a brooch makes the most sense. Like a brooch stuffed into like an attic like chest of like old family heirlooms, and so like the modern generation's like, oh, that looks like retro, so like I'm gonna wear it to
Yeah.
prom, you
This
know?
is cool. Exactly.
Yeah,
Wear it to my LARP event.
exactly.
All right. That would be amazing if you've got to infiltrate. I'm going to just write this down. We don't have to keep this.
Can we make the fact that you have to infiltrate a LARP event to get the final clue be a thing? This has
Isn't
to
this
be a
like
thing.
Yeah.
isn't this like in the 1930s though, or is it like the whole
This
point?
is
that
whenever
doesn't
we
really
want it
matter?
to be.
Okay, all right.
I'm sure
I
they
know
were
that's
LARPing
just-
in the 1930s. It's a long and noble
Actually,
tradition.
well, okay. It doesn't have to be a LARP. But back in the day, like Hercule Poirot was famous for hosting murder parties for people, like the old
Yeah.
European
Yeah.
nobles. That was their version of a LARP.
Uh-huh.
Like they had costume parties, but they were less intricate than what we do now.
I imagine so. And they probably didn't have as many rules.
No, there's no
right.
rolling d4s and whatnot.
Whoops. What did I do? That's fine. Uh-oh. Okay, my text appears to have gone smaller, but that's fine. We zoom back in and we're fine. We've saved the day. All right, so you've got to infiltrate a LARP or something like it. Like it would be so to make it not completely ridiculous. It could be some kind of ceremony. Like I'm thinking
A
something
play
like
at the theater.
yeah, it could be something like a Dia de los Muertos or something where it's
There you go.
an adapted ritual from ancient times, and this family like still upholds that tradition. So there's a big
Mhm.
parade.
I like that.
Yeah, there's a big parade where they do something related to this, and you can infiltrate that and like wear death masks and things.
Yeah, that could be what that final clue is like a death mask
Hmm.
of some sort. Some ridiculously ornate ancient death mask.
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, it might be convenient if all of these things come together at the one point, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, so we've got the 3 pieces to our puzzle. And I imagine these things are not too far away from each other.
No.
This is going to end up being potentially a little more directed, because it's like the first piece points to the second piece points to the third piece, something like that. How
You can grab the first 3 pieces in any order, but the conclusion's
Mhm.
going to be the same, you know?
Yeah. So like it's okay. So one thing that we probably don't want to worry too much about is actually making a literal riddle for the players to solve.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just like, haha, you've got 1/3 of the map. It's like, well, that's great and all, but how exactly do you? If you've got the piece of the map with the X on it, you should be fine, right? Yeah, we'll just say it's like it's an abstract map, and you need all of it to make sense of it. It's
Yeah,
like-
because there's thousands of pyramids in
Mm.
in Mexico, but so you have a pyramid on the last piece of the map. There's a pyramid with an X on it, but you don't know which one
Mm-hmm.
until you.
Yeah, like
move
it might.
around.
Yeah, one of them might be like where in the pyramid the opening is. One of them like be where you can find the pyramid itself, and one of them is the way to open the door, something like that. So each piece has some kind of significance. So each got a different piece, which is like where's the pyramid. Okay, and there was a 4th piece that was already public knowledge, And that could be like... Oh, it's easy. That could be like what the treasure is.
Yeah. So everybody's looking for,
Yeah.
some ancient treasure of some ancient king, and
Yeah, so like the piece of information that got out was just that there's a treasure.
Mhm.
And these 4 different pieces of the puzzle each give you a different part of that. Okay. So we've got those. Let's make some connections. So we've got the family, the ancient line entrusted with the piece. We've got the theater, where whoever runs it, or maybe even one of the play groups, knows the secret. And then you've got the thieves who have already stolen it from someone else. What did they got? What is the former that they've stolen? As in, like, they took something from someone else, and if it was a piece of architecture, they might have destroyed it to make sure no one else gets it, just to drive in how evil they are. Or if it was an item, they stole it from whoever had it at the time, possibly by force. So we've got a necklace, we've got a engraving, we've got probably another.
I like the deface public property in order to steer attention away from what is actually being stolen. They did that in Die Hard 3. They took down the stock market so they could rob a bank.
Sure. To distract from what they're actually after.
Yeah.
Okay. Because let's say there's a bunch of different parties involved here, which could act as contacts or whatever, but like you and the thieves are the ones most likely to find it.
Yeah.
Okay. So device followed property, distracted after. So the temple has probably got some catacombs underneath. And there could be like an engraving there rather than a mural, like a grave or a tomb. Ooh, in fact, yeah, if there's a tomb down there, it makes perfect sense that that's where you find the death mask.
Oh yeah.
And if I'm remembering correctly, like Incans and Maya did have mummies of their own.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, good. I don't know if they had death masks per se, but this one does.
Incas did have death masks.
There you go. Awesome. It's all coming together.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, bit of a rickety road to get there, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we've got the death mask and the mummy. We've got the pendant from the old family. What have the thieves taken?
Okay, we got the mask, we got the pendant. What else?
And we've got a mural, and that was the first one that was found.
Let's see.
It could be like a weapon, an ancient blade, or a shield.
Yeah. I was just thinking either shield, sword, or armor, because sometimes when they erect statues of like old like explorers or heroes, they'll ordain them with like relics from that era. But like the real treasure is actually not the relics that are on the statue, but like the statue itself, because it was potentially carved by like a famous artist, right? So that devalues everything else on it. Or you can have the real version of an item, right, be what the museum considers to be the replica, and then the replica be the thing that was, like supposedly the real item.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's a cool idea where some of these items might have replicas that could serve in their place.
Because there's a conspiracy theory. Well, it's not really a conspiracy theory. It's one of those like old rumors that people believe right out of hand. But the old rumor is that the version of the Mona Lisa that's currently in the Louvre is actually a fake and is a replica because they lost the old one onto the black market like a long time ago.
I think I've heard something to that effect, but
Yeah.
in this sense, it's a cool idea that
Yeah.
like if the thieves have gotten this thing, like you go to the statue where you're meant to find it, and it's like meant to be holding the sword, but the sword's gone.
Yeah.
That
But
there's some sort of fake sword that looks
Yeah, it
exactly
was-
the same.
yeah,
but
exactly,
can
exactly.
serve the same purpose.
And then you need to figure out whether or not the item that you have is in fact the real item. So that can be like a sub quest to get it verified.
yeah, and
And the faster you do that, the quicker you catch up to the thieves.
yeah, I think so. One thing you could do to get around having to steal from the thieves is maybe this item has replicas elsewhere. Like there's a museum or a researcher who created a perfect facsimile of it, and there's nothing. So the important thing about the item is that it holds the map, and a copy of that map is still just as good.
Right.
It's not like it's magic or has like a particular.
No, that
Super
that
function.
works. Like
Or is a keyblade?
Yes, it's not a keyblade. It's just a sort of map on it. Okay.
or what if the map is like one of those things like in Transformers, right? Sam touches the Allspark, so the map gets embedded into his head. And even if the Allspark is destroyed, he still has like the map in his head.
I'll probably keep this one more mundane
Mundane, got it. I'm just throwing it out there.
because it would be pretty cool to like have actual mummies in this, and ink and magic and whatever else. But A, that's kind of getting a little bit crazy, and B, it's a lot harder to be like culturally respectful at that point.
Yeah.
Because at that point you need to know
And-
a lot more about Mayan culture and Incan culture to handle that stuff properly.
And also the whole fantasy expansion hasn't happened yet, so
Also that it's in the works. Don't worry. But yeah, like obviously you still need to do a little bit of research to portray the civilization accurately, but you probably shouldn't have them throwing around magic missiles just yet.
right.
Okay. Anyway, so we've got the pieces. I wonder how much. Yeah, so there needs to be something that points from one to the other, or even the first piece that was publicly revealed holds clues to where to find the other three pieces, and those are the important parts.
Yeah. So maybe there's
Mhm.
something separate, like because I imagine the first piece is like a monstrous carving, like a
Mhm.
major, like huge carving that got turned into a highway overpass or something. And like the part that's important, like if you roll your dig deep or your observation roll, you see like there's this one piece that looks that's like painted in a different color or has a weird marking next to it that allows you to notice that this is the part that's important. The rest is really pretty but mundane
Yeah.
or and irrelevant.
What could be cool is if like part of that structure was damaged or destroyed, to like make way for development. So they wanted to put a new apartment next to this or whatever. So they needed a bit more space. So they just carved a section out of it because like, oh, it's fine. We don't need to protect our heritage. It's fine. And yeah, obviously. Or it might have been an accident. So the way you find that piece is like you go back into old pictures of it to figure out what it used to look like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a cool idea where that piece So the mural is damaged, and you have to like. Ooh.
Slide a piece in there.
Ooh.
What?
Okay. Double cool. Double cool. The mural is damaged, so one of the things it points towards is wrong. Which is to say, like, it's only got half the message, and the way it's interpreted is like, oh yeah, it's at the bottom of this lake, or whatever. But if you look at the original thing with like the intact clue, then it's like, oh no, it's at the bottom of this like theater.
It's a good idea. That way, if you fail, you get the wrong message and you lose time.
Or you can like use that to throw off the thieves.
Right. To jump ahead of them.
Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. So this is actually coming together. I think this is actually enough to go on, because you've got your various investigative tools, you've got your contacts, you've got your things. As long as the initial clues you get is that it's like, you know the three things you're looking for. You're looking for a mask, you're looking for a necklace, and you're looking for a shield. Right? And then you can work from there. Like, those are the three things that were displayed in the mural. So, yeah, I think you can work it out from this, which is nice. So at this point, let's start detailing some of the characters we'll be meeting. So we've got the head thief. Let's break them up into factions.
Right. So the curator, the thieves, and the society would be the set of three factions involved in this, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, for the thieves, there's a bunch in that group, but there's only two significant ones. Our Belloc and our guy who just wants to stab things. And you got to watch out for him because he'll stab you. So protectors, we had the stoic one and the sneaky one. And the ancient line, we've got like the heiress of the line. And let's say that she has let's say that she has a son, but her husband has died. So like she is holding up this entire line on her own. And moreover, she's got a son that the thieves could threaten to get the necklace.
Yes, reverse Disney. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Okay, so the son is the only heir. And like she's very involved in the community. She like helps organize this parade, etc. So she's like a fairly public figure. Let's bring out my handy name generator and we'll figure out who they are. Unless someone else has any ideas.
Here, I got something. Why don't we both whip out the name generators and see which one's better? How about that?
Oh, damn. All right, I'll go from the bottom, you go from the top. All right, so the curator, I'm going to say he's like... Let's make him Polish. And he like comes from the Warsaw Museum of Arts or something and has moved his way up in the world, as it were. How is Stanislas Modrzewski?
For the curator?
Yes. It's a bit of a
Interesting.
mouthful, but it's Stan to his friends.
I'm gonna write mine for the heiress in the chat. How about that?
Oh, you can put it straight in the Google Doc.
I
should be editable.
can't. I can't.
I don't
What
think
have
he
I
has.
done?
We don't
Oh,
have
no.
we don't
Yeah.
have access. We don't
Yeah.
have things.
Okay. Now everyone can edit. Sorry. There you go.
Eh.
It should be good
good?
now.
You might have to refresh.
Yes,
Yeah,
you may have to
refresh.
refresh.
Okay, awesome.
All right. So the
Maybe
curator-
maybe something a little less Siberia, maybe a little bit more Moscow.
maybe. All right. Stanislav STST. Sure. Sounds good.
A little bit less of a mouthful.
Yeah. It's definitely better.
Stanislav Stomsky. Stromsky. How about Strom?
Strom?
Stromsky.
Sure.
Stromsky.
Stromsky.
He's very strong.
All right. Cool. I like him. Already. The son. Let's see.
Manuel Zeltsin.
Sure. All right. So for our protectors, they should have like. Oh, I don't have Incan or Mayan in my list.
I do. Here.
Oh, go for it. Give me something.
Oh, I
have
was just going to send you
Chamorro.
the
I'm not sure what
Here.
that is. Oh, damn.
There's that one, and then there's this one that you can also use.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Sorry, I just DM'd him. I can put it in the general chat if
No
you'd like.
problem. Let me just Mayan name generator. So yeah, they'll be like classic cool dudes. Ooh, wow. Chichan?
Yeah, go for
I
it.
don't- Sure. I'm not sure how to pronounce these, so you will need to look these up. So Chichan and female
Ixtel.
name.
Ixtel. Here, I got it.
I'm pretty sure you pronounce X's as S's or shiz.
Ische. Yep. Ishtel.
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 Okay, cool. And they'll be. I'm sure they also have second names, but this generator is not giving them to us.
It's fine. I think that's all they need.
Sure, why not? All right, the thieves. Do you want these to be like British villains?
I think
Or
having
do you want to
them
go
be...
full Indiana Jones?
No,
Of course, Nazis then. I mean,
We could make them literally Indiana Jones Nazis.
Yeah, let's go for it. I like that.
of
Oh my
course, the
God.
boss thief has to be
Perfect.
named Adolf because
No,
No,
that
that-
name doesn't
no,
exist.
that's too obvious.
Too far.
That's too on the nose. Yeah.
Two on the nose. Okay.
Wolfgang.
All right, here we go. Yeah, sure. Wolfgang Klopper.
There you go.
And his stabby compatriot, who's like his right hand.
I think we have like good female-male like pairs for everything. I think we should
Yeah,
just keep
yeah,
that
yeah.
pattern.
Sure. Let's get a lovely lady to shoot people.
Here, 1 second.
Amalia Schmuel. Or
I like-
Shacha. I like Shacha. There we go. All right, cool. So we've got some people. Now we just need prices and threats for each of them, which should be pretty easy because we've got a decent idea of who these people are already. Okay, so the boss thief, obviously his price is money.
His price is money.
Uh-huh. And what's his threat? Does he fear getting caught? Does he want to protect his community? Does he want to protect his own power base?
Power base. But
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. So classic villain, price and threat, just money and power.
Mhm.
Or power and money, either way. Stabby thief. So she's all about stabbing people. So excitement.
Okay.
sadism.
Yeah, so she enjoys doing violence onto others. So that's her price.
What about the threat being the boss? Like love or loyalty or something?
Yeah. Sounds good.
There you go. So this is like Harley Quinn and Joker. There you
Yep.
go.
Perfect. And we don't know if it's like unrequited or not at this point. We'll work that out.
Mhm.
Or we'll leave that up to...
Actually, you know what would be
GM.
better? What would be better is if it wasn't unrequited, but like the boss thief doesn't really know how to give without taking first.
So it's
There you
like
go. A little bit
it's kind of
deeper.
a toxic relationship.
Yep.
Cool. Because, well, they are literally Nazis at this point, so it's fine.
Little humanization.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so they've got a little tragic thing going on where, like, she loves him, but he doesn't know how to love her back, and also he's kind of scared of her because she keeps stabbing people.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, what's worse, or he has an image that he has to maintain, so although he does love her back, he can't really return it. So he thinks of her as more of a tool, and then so she's trying to work her way up the ranks so that he no longer. Yeah,
Right.
I already like our villains more than our heroes.
I know, right? They're such good villains. It's awesome. Okay, cool. So they've got their own rom-com with stabby Nazis going on. Protectors. So, obviously, community is probably a big thing for either one or both of these people.
Yeah.
I like the Temple of Doom scenario where these items like correlate to the health of the community, and if they're taken away, the community begins to die off. Just like the Shiva stones.
Which may or may not be true. We'll worry about that later. They believe it, and that's the important part. So what else do we have for? What else do we have for prices and threats? It's on page 80 or so. Cool. Family,
Degradation,
image, community,
or loss of heritage, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fit these into like
single word. Yeah,
into the things I already have. So he wants to protect his community. So it'd probably be kind of like, I don't want to make it community.
Right.
So
legacy.
So he wants to protect a community / family, and that will be like the legacy of the people. He wants to protect. He wants to make sure everyone keeps benefiting from the power of these items that are hidden here. So yes, his threat will be community, and his price will be power, because he wants to get more power to
help the
protect
community.
People. Yeah, because right now he's operating from the shadows, and he doesn't like it because he's a stoic one. He's like, I want to actually be able to just actively block people from doing this. So a sneaky protector, is she like super nice, or is she like kind of a sneak thief, or is she slightly murdery herself?
I think I like super nice, but also a good thief in return.
Okay, cool. All right,
like a shadowy guardian angel, if you will.
All right. So she has to maintain her image.
Yep.
Right. She has to like keep her cover going, and anything that will help her do that is a good way to manipulate her. And probably community as well, because they're doing it for the same reason.
Or maybe we should reverse that and make the threat a threat to her image.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
actually like
it's like
that.
a
Yeah,
quick
switch
exposure.
that. Yep.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Ancient line. Obviously, family's a threat. Straight up. And her price is probably community because she's a public figure. And she does all this events and stuff.
Fair enough.
Very maternal. And her son, he's a kid, so excitement / freedom. He wants to have fun and he wants to do what he wants. He doesn't want to be told what to do. All right. And the curator, he has been overlooked so many times. He wants to boost his image. And
Do you have the opposite of that, like obscurity?
yeah,
Or,
like right
like-
now he's in obscurity, and so like
or
the
loss
reason
of power?
he's loss of power. Yeah. How seriously does it take that? Because for him, it seems it's a lot more about the fame than doing anything with it. He just wants to be known as the guy who found this, and ride on that for the rest of his life. So, how can you threaten him? Probably safety, because he's like an old man, and he doesn't want to go trekking through the jungles. Yeah, that's a pretty simple one. So yeah, he's kind of kicked off this expedition to try to find these lost artifacts, but he doesn't want to actually put himself in danger doing so, which is why he's hired the investigators. Okay. So that's been an hour or so, and we have ourselves a nice little treasure hunt. Can anyone think of anything to add to this? Because I think you could run this. I think this is ready to go.
I would agree.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, guys, for coming in and helping me put this together. This is very different to what you would usually use Grey Cells for, but yeah, I think it will work. I'm curious to actually playtest something like this, just to see how it holds up with the system. Because this kind of mystery, yeah, like it's fun. It's fun to just have like a romp through the jungle and like find ancient ruins and things.
Yeah, I think I'll run this next week.
Cool.
I'll see. Well, if I can find players, anyway.
Yeah, I might do this as this week's playtest even. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, okay.
I'll just tell people not to look at it beforehand. All right. Well, thank you both very much for coming, guys. This has been Brothgar and Rick, if I'm not sadly mistaken. Do you guys have handles elsewhere people can find you at, or is it all good?
No, it's I'm Broth or Brothgar everywhere. So
Excellent. All right. Well, that's us then. If you want to run this mystery yourself, feel free to take these notes. I will put a link in the video, and yeah, you can fight some Nazis and get your whip on. All right. See you later.
bye-bye.